Time hides the architecture of human awareness. What modern lips call Christ consciousness is not a new invention. It is an ancient cosmic technology. Long before the modern era, the mystery schools of the Mediterranean tracked a singular anomaly, a state of mind where the human flesh becomes a mirror for the infinite universe. Is it a historical event or an eternal psychological code? To find the truth, we must peel back layers of dogma and look directly into the primary sources of antiquity. The target is not a person, but a principle, the absolute union of human intellect with the cosmic blueprint. This is the chronicle of the Logos, the forgotten history of the awakened mind. Forget what you have been taught. Prepare to witness the raw, historical anatomy of the divine spark.
We begin in Greece 5 centuries before the cross. Heraclitus of Ephesus defines the Logos. The Logos was not a deity, but the underlying reason governing all things, a hidden mathematical harmony. The Stoics expanded this fire. They believed the Logos was a physical, spiritual breath weaving through all matter. To align oneself with this universal reason was the ultimate purpose of human life, the birth of cosmic awareness. Then came Alexandria, a melting pot where Greek logic collided with Hebrew mysticism. Philo of Alexandria, a brilliant Jewish philosopher, bridged the two worlds. He wrote that the Logos was the firstborn of God. Philo explicitly declared the Logos to be the archetype of human intellect, the ideal blueprint of consciousness. This Hellenistic concept formed the exact bedrock for the opening line of the Gospel of John. In the beginning was the Logos. The early writers were not inventing new terms. They were adopting a highly sophisticated philosophical framework already centuries old. The historical records show the shift. The cosmic Logos was being mapped onto a historical human form. But the core idea remained anchored in transformation, the potential for the individual to become what it beholds. This was not standard worship. This was an archaeological shift in the definition of the self. The primary sources reveal a deep underlying current, a tradition that sought the Christ within. To understand how this internal state functioned, we must look at what was deliberately hidden.
Modern interpretations often dilute this history into generic positivity, but the ancient reality was far more radical. In 1945, a discovery in Egypt changed everything. The Nag Hammadi library was unearthed. Inside were the Gnostic Gospels, texts buried for 16 centuries to escape the flames of heresy hunts. The Gospel of Thomas contains no narrative of a crucifixion or a resurrection. It contains only sayings. In Logian 3, it says clearly, "The kingdom is within you, and it is outside you. When you know yourselves, then you will be known." This was an explicit instruction for self-realization, a total departure from blind external dependency. Logian 108 delivers the ultimate synthesis. "Whoever drinks from my mouth will become like me. I myself shall become that person." This is not the language of master and servant. This is the language of identity duplication. The early Orthodox Church saw this as an immediate threat to institutional control. If everyone could access the Logos directly, priests became obsolete. Therefore, the texts were condemned, collected, and systematically destroyed. The inner mechanism was overwritten by historical narrative. Yet even within Orthodox theology, the ghost of this truth survived. It was known as theosis. Athanasius of Alexandria wrote the defining line of early Christian mysticism: "He was made human, that we might be made divine." Divinity was not a status to be feared. It was an evolution to be achieved through alignment with the Logos. What most people miss is that the mystery was never about historical adoration. It was about psychological transmutation.
How does this inner mechanism actually function according to the ancient texts? It requires the absolute dissolution of the ego. The Gnostics called the mundane human mind the psyche. It is bound by time, fear, and cultural programming. But beneath the psyche lies the pneuma, the timeless breath of the divine essence. To activate Christ consciousness is to switch the seat of identity from the psyche to the pneuma, a systematic awakening.
This process mimics the ancient Platonic allegory of the cave, turning away from shadows and looking directly into the sun. In the esoteric tradition, the crucifixion is not merely a historical execution. It is a geometric symbol. The cross represents the intersection of time and eternity, matter crossing spirit. To be crucified on the cross of matter means to die to the lower nature, to break the chains of the material senses. Only through this symbolic death can the resurrection occur, which is nothing less than the awakening of the cosmic mind. The texts are precise. This is an operational blueprint practiced in secret mystery schools throughout antiquity. It requires intense meditation, isolation, and the mastery of internal focus, the narrowing of awareness down to a single point. When the mind becomes completely still, the barrier breaks, the drop re-enters the ocean. You cease to be an isolated ego navigating a hostile world. You become the world itself, experiencing itself. This is the functional meaning of the phrase, "I and my Father are one." It is a mathematical equation of identity, the realization of non-duality through the filter of Hellenistic mysticism.
The historical evidence proves this was the ultimate secret of the early inner circles, the hidden core of the mystery. A secret guarded by those who chose exile and execution rather than capitulation to literalist dogmas. Now the fragments are reassembling. The ancient code is being cracked wide open. The historical analysis leads to an undeniable conclusion. Christ consciousness is not a belief system. It is a state of psychological evolutionary development, the awakening of the cosmic intellect within the human container. It belongs to no single religion, no specific century, and no exclusive institution. It is the birthright of human consciousness. The Logos remains active. The ordering principle of the universe is still breathing through the matter of your body. The texts have survived the fires of suppression. The primary sources are clear for those with eyes to see. The mystery is solved when the seeker realizes that the Savior they were taught to wait for is the consciousness they must awaken within themselves. The portal is open. The historical code is yours to execute. Awaken the Logos. Return to the origin.